was Trump's military parade flopping and Trump being endlessly humiliated by this puny, flaccid crowd. Now, I have to admit, I expected a sort of Russia, North Korea, Iran-style military parade. Huge crowds, massive energy, authoritarianism just leaking out of everybody's ears. But at the end of the day, it was a tiny, puny, pathetic crowd. Extremely low rent, extremely low energy. And I have to be honest, our military didn't even look that great. And this is not a commentary on the competency of the military to do their jobs. What I mean is, in this setting, it all looked low end because it's just simply not something that the United States should or is used to doing. We don't do this crap. But Trump wanted it, and it didn't come out well. Now, despite media avoiding mentioning the obvious, the crowd was teeny tiny. It was smaller than Donald Trump's hands. And here is video, and it just, everything about this is low energy, small. You see hands, and here is video, and it just, everything about this is low energy, small. You see the bleachers there, just mostly empty.
Alright, Shalom, since Gasharala, Kal, Halimla, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rahaha, Kodesh. My name is Gabaga of the Hopeful Election from the Company of Prophets here in Toronto. And today is, now it is Tuesday, July the 1st. Yeah, that's right, Tuesday, July the 1st. And it's another day closer to the deliverance and the destruction. Before I go into it, I want to say, as it is written, let the elders, the rule, become worthy of double honors, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine, which is the Presbyterian of Grimblestone, beginning with the elder apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders on down. Okay, so I want to say peace and salutation to all you who came on the highways and byways, continue to push his truth in honesty and in sincerity, and in the favored names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Right? My second attempt at this video. It was the first time I made it. I wrote it out. There was no audio to it. So Lord wills, this comes through and the audio comes out, and the uploads on the channel. All right. So going into it, as you can see, the video that I was highlighted this from coming from this man by the name of David Pakman Show on his YouTube channel, and basically he's highlighting the fact that Trump's parade. This was supposed to basically be him showing off, the American military might, and basically showing, that, basically that American pride, that it's in the military. Also, basically trying to bring back the parades that they used to have, back in the days. But as you can see in this video, that parade, that was a complete. I want to say it was a huge failure. Someone like Trump, who he adores, huge crowds. He wants that adoration and that that light. That was this must be very blowing to his psyche, so to speak. Okay, to his confidence, and ultimately, this whole prophecy show you that America, okay, Babylon the Great, is at its end, circling the drain, like the Apostle Gabriel always says. America is done. This place, the Western society, okay, the Western Empire is at its end, and we are witnessing, its collapse. Let's go ahead and get this. Let's go into basically like see as here the guy said how low energy this place was, how low energy this the crowd was. Let's go ahead and get this. The book of Isaiah 19 verse 3, right? And he reads right here. Isaiah 19 verse 3, and he reads, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof." The spirit of Egypt. Egypt is the modern. Egypt is a modern day America. Okay, pursuant to the book of Revelation 11 verse 8, tells you that the dead bodies shall lie in the dead body shall lie in a place called a spiritual called Sodom and Egypt, which is America. Okay, America, the same place where the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom were held together, something that they were back in ancient Egypt, because these are the only two places where the captivity basically was the captivity included both southern and kingdom nation. It's like both southern and northern kingdoms. Okay, it was only in ancient Egypt in time of Moses, and now it's here. It is again in modern day Egypt, which is America. Okay, and also it says Saddam, that represents the backward lifestyle that America promotes, which is that abominable lifestyle, where both men and women are together. Okay, so this is that place Egypt. It says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. You see in this video right here I displayed, these people's spirit is failing. Okay, their spirit is completely, is out. Okay, it's from the low energy that this parade, came with. See, the spirit is failing. You're going to the word fail, right? It says the word is a bakwak. It says to empty, lay waste, make void, to be emptied. As you can see, the guy said in the video that basically how empty those bleachers were. You see, so America, the Mossad is making this place. America is, the Mossad is exposing America, and it's really, bringing, that, it's bringing the, basically the sun to set on America. Okay, basically to where, because before, America was seen as this great place, where people come in, everyone is bursting with life, there's hope for the future. Everyone is in up, everyone's spirits are, are up. Everyone, is always like on a high, but now, it's turned to the low. Okay, these people are dragging their feet. Okay, they really have no hope for the future. Okay, and they see, how bleak the future is, and how, the people that are in power, are not there to serve them. Ultimately, this goes on to show you that this place is done. This place, America, has come to its end. Finish it off. I said in 19 verse 3, and says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fill in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. Ultimately, this is what these people are doing. Okay, as they see all the other options are failing, they're going to start, that's why they're bringing in the AI, the artificial intelligence. Okay, they're trying to basically have it to where, they use these charmers. Okay, they use these, these devices to basically help them navigate these hard times. But even with AI, it's not going to be able to save you. No matter witchcraft or sorcery, it's going to be able to save America, from its impending doom. Okay, let's look at this as well. How does it go? It's Book of Nahum 3. Nahum 3 verse 5, and it reads, behold, I am against thee, said the Lord Yahweh Shai. And the Lord Yahweh Shai is against America. When you go to the top of the verse, the top of the chapter, it's about woe to the bloody city. And the city is talking about America. Because America is a bloody place. America was founded upon blood. Okay, and it was maintained through bloodshed. Okay, and it's still being propagated through bloodshed. Okay, you see what's going on over there. America has been involved in, from the time it came into power, okay, America has been at war 90% of the time. Okay, America is always bombing, some country. Okay, from the start of America, which we know, when these people came over here, they massacred the native, so-called native tribes. Right then, they brought the so-called, slaves over on the cargo slave ships, right? Which that was also a very, bloody endeavor. Okay, and ultimately, through Jim Crow and all these other things that happened, there's been a lot of bloodshed that's soaked in American soil. Okay, the lynchings, all right. It's the crazy things that happen in America. Okay, all the abortions and all these things. Okay, there's a lot of bloodshed that's happening in this place. All right. So it says, "The water bloody city is full of lies and robbery, and the prey departeth not." So back to jumping the fifth the fifth verse says, "Behold, I am against thee," says the Lord Yahweh Shai of hosts, "and I will discover the skirts upon thy face." And ultimately, the Heavenly Father is making, is exposing things are happening in America through the prophets, okay? But through spirit power here, Bashim Yashai, America is being exposed. Okay, it just came out that, now those migrants that are being shipped over, that are being taken up by ICE, okay, it came out that they're actually being put on cargo planes and then actually being dropped in the ocean. Okay, they're being shackled up, okay, and just being dropped. Once they go airborne, they're up in the air. They're actually getting dropped in the ocean. And their bodies are coming up on shores. Okay, shackled hands, because Heavenly Father is exposing the wickedness of this place. Ultimately, this is the wickedness of the so-called white man. Right? And it goes on to say, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. And America is being seen as a gazing stock. Okay, America, these other countries, they look at America now, as that, in a marker, in a marking way. Okay, really Trump, he thinks that, he's getting, he's gaining fear and, adoration from these other nations, but really, they're clowning him, man. Okay, you see how, even China, it tried to come against China, but China clowned him so bad, they had to call back his tariffs. You see, so now America is being seen as a gazing stock, but before that, America could, whenever America said something, the whole world had to listen. But now, the world, does not take America seriously. You see, so they're being, they're being looked at, as a. Let's look up the word gazing stock. See what it says here. It says the word there is in the Hebrew word is raya. It says sight, whether abstractly, vision, or concretely. Gazing stock, look to, looking, appearance, seeing, sight, seeing, appearance, sight, spectacle. Okay, but basically, it's not in a good light, it's in a bad light. Okay. Verse 7, and it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee, and say, Nineveh is laid waste. Nineveh, this is another term for America, because ultimately in the scriptures, you will not find the word America, but it's different titles and different names, that it fits. Ultimately, whole kingdoms, like or whole empires actually get reincarnated. So this is Babylon the Great all over again. Okay, this is the Syrian Empire all over again. This is Egypt all over again. Okay, this is Nineveh all over again. Ultimately, America is like an amalgamation of all these different empires, because all these gods that these other empires have, they all worshipped in America. All right, it says and say Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her? Whence shall I seek conference for thee? Okay, kind of modern day America is modern day Nineveh is America. All right, let's go back to play this video a little bit and play a few scriptures.
Trump reportedly furious about this tiny crowd. At another moment, the crowd is so silent and so sparse that you can actually hear the squeakiness of a tank rolling by, screwing up the streets. By the way, I told you how the weight of the tanks messes up streets, and then you got to pay to repair them. Here's a squeaky tank projecting force.
Yeah, that's fine too, because like in the same book here, same chapter, it talks about the squeaking of. Let's go ahead and get that. Okay, yeah, the noise of a whip, the noise of a rolling of the wheels, right? which is that's not what he's going to, but that's funny how says what it says here, and actually it's what's being seen here on the on this clip. Really low energy, a very low turnout, and it really was embarrassing, for just for America and for Trump himself, because before they were expecting to have like hundreds of thousands of people show up, only a few thousands came up, and for the most part, it was really the military that was there, and they're getting paid to be there. So there's more people that are there that are getting paid than those that are not getting paid. Okay, let's go back here. Let's get this in the book of Isaiah 30. Verse start from verse 1. Isaiah 30 verse 1 says, Woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord Yahweh Shai, that take counsel, but not of me, Kind of the rebellious children. He's talking about you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. You have a people who that are continuously rebelling against the Heavenly Father, okay, and they do not want to take correction. They do not want to take heed to the message that's being brought forth through their prophets, okay, to basically to get the fear of the Heavenly Father and reverence Him. But they want to continuously be in society. They want to continue on going to these false religions, worshiping these false gods, and taking these idolatrous celebrations like the Pride Parade. Okay, they want to continue on celebrating these wicked holidays. Okay, not coming to their own nationality. Says the Lord Yahweh Shai that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with the covering but not of my spirit. And ultimately, that's you can see that's happening because ultimately now the Heavenly Father is judging you children. He's judging the children of Israel, okay, by bringing by having Trump sending those ICE agents upon you. Now you have even Haitians are again rounded up. Best believe that's going to basically impact all so-called blacks in America, because ultimately these Edomites don't care about if you're Haitian or Jamaican, or if you were born in America or not. If if they don't like you, okay, they're gonna take you up and have your way with you, ship you out, take you somewhere, and do whatever. Okay, so therefore it will behoove you, to show reverence to the Heavenly Father, so that it can gain life, okay, so that it can gain protection. It says, what are the rebellious children? Says the Lord Yahweh Shai, the take counsel about not of me, the cover with a covering but not of my spirit. The covering is supposed to be really the names of the Heavenly Father. It's not supposed to be under the covering of Jesus Christ or Allah or none of that. Okay, you're not supposed to be calling yourself Black, Latino, Native American. You're supposed to be calling yourself your respective tribes, okay, of the nation of Israel. But not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Verse 2, that walk to go down to Egypt. Okay, and ultimately, that happened a lot when you had these caravans, okay, these migrants that were coming in from, this was like a couple of years ago. You had these huge caravans that were coming in, south of America, coming into America, and they just had, a free course right into the country. Now these people, the same people, are being shipped back out, and the way they're being shipped out is not very, is for a lot of times it gets violent. Okay, it's very rough. Okay, the people are losing, people lose their loved ones. The child again separated from the parents. Okay, people are going missing. Okay, it says and not that walk to go down into Egypt. Once again, Egypt is America. Okay, Egypt is modern day America, is modern day Egypt. Okay, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. And here are a lot of people, they put his mind in power. They put his mind in power, thinking that it's going to, basically like help them, get better careers, better business, be able to establish their businesses, okay, and actually prosper in society. Okay, but ultimately, that's this is going to be for your shame. Because that goes to the next verse, verse 3. It says, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." That's right. Now people are starting to see this. They're starting to see how Trump came in. So they came in and started getting rid of all these subsidies, all these government subsidies, Medicaid, certain things, certain things that the government was would give to people for free. That's why you had the man Elon Musk, with this Doge thing, okay, and they're taking away, stripping down all these privileges that these Americans were enjoying. Now, now there are people that are suffering from it. Okay, and they're seeing, they're trying to see that Trump was not really for their benefit. Okay, it says, and the trust and the trust in the shadow of Egypt. So this pointing to the shadow of Egypt. Ultimately, this also goes to show you how America is its former is a shadow of its former glory. Okay, America is not that big bad wolf that it used to be anymore. Okay, people don't look at America as a place to be desired anymore. Okay, America does not have the same sway, the same I want to say That's the word. So like basically the same respect that he used to have, say like 10 years ago. Okay, things are going downhill for Americans, man. Okay, and these people can see it. They know it. That's why Trump came in with this MAGA, make America great again. That's when America is done. It's done. Okay. So let's go back here. Let's move this.
I mean, just embarrassing. Embarrassing. Here's a service member parading, holding a small drone in his hands. Wow, really, really cool. And then completely goofy in every way. Here are tanks rolling to the tune of Heart's Barracuda. Then it goes into Led Zeppelin.
Pause it there. Let's get this note close up. Ezekiel 7, chapter 7. Yeah, kind of right here, beautiful. Check out this first. Ecclesiastes 7. Yeah, kind of. This is book Ecclesiastes 7 verse 2. When you read, better is the end of a thing. So again, let's take it. Ecclesiastes 7 verse 8, and you read, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And ultimately, as I said, America, the way it began, was nothing but, heartache, and more, and sorrow unto us. So it's better now that it's ending, right? So it's better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Come on. Next one, let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7, too. Same, Ezekiel 7, verse 3. Some verse 1. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Yashai, came unto me, saying, Ezekiel, it's like saying, also, thou son of man, thus said the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Yashai, power unto the southern land of Israel, an end. The end is come upon the four corners of the land. And ultimately, as I said, this is affecting both all the tribes. Okay, now they're going to start coming. They're going to start coming at the at the dark skinned tribes. The southern kingdom. Ultimately, like the brothers have been talking about. Like I heard this first from the elder from Chicago, Elder Malcolm. He's like basically, Israel or the northern kingdom gets it first, and the southern kingdom gets it worse. So now these ICE agents are going to start targeting these so-called blacks, okay, in America, okay, trying to say that you're Haitian or you're Jamaican or whatever the case may be. You're gonna be you're gonna be carted off into those planes, okay, and who knows what they're gonna do with you, all right? And when this happens, and they're gonna come in as a flood, okay, they're gonna come in with that power, with that strength, so that because ultimately, these cops, they know how you so-called black people are. They know that you are unruly, okay, and they talk back, okay. They don't listen to authority, so therefore they're gonna come without force, like never seen, okay. It says verse 3. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and I will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. So the Heavenly Father, is bringing an end. It's going to bring an end to the wicked of Esau, Edom, not to the wicked of our people. Okay. Then we're going to I want to say, brother Yahweh Shai, and say, Kuma Shawala, wa Badbabal, Shalom Akim.